Okay, I think it's working. Hi, everybody. How are you? Colorado, Tennessee. Merry Christmas to you. We will wait just a second for Facebook to hop on. But good evening, everybody. Let's see. Eldridge 5. Yes, we're actually still considering it. So we haven't made any decisions. Some of you have sent us the cutest mock-ups of logos, and I'm so appreciative because I just need all the ideas I can get. And some of them have been freaking awesome. Just things that I would never. I'm not a creative person very much. I can do a little bit here or there, but I'm very much you show me a picture and I can copy it. And so to have your guys' creativity has been awesome. I think it's Shauna from South Africa. Yours was so cool. Just a totally a vibe that I didn't ever expect to see. It's just so cool. New comments. Ohio, Wisconsin, Maryland, Illinois. Look, I said it right. I think that's how you say it. Illinois, Ohio, Minnesota. I don't think I've ever been to Minnesota. My cousin lives in Minnesota. Yeah, her and her husband, they own a event planning, an event tent company. They go set up tents for events. And if you didn't know that about me, I love events. That is totally me. So in college, I worked as an event host. So I would throw big parties for different things, whether it was for the business school or for fraternities or weddings. I got to do that. And so my cousin is kind of living my dream of throwing weddings. And she had the prettiest wedding ever. So, but that is okay. I think I'm back. Sorry. I had to turn off my Wi-Fi. I think it's working now. Okay, it is. Good. Texas, Louisiana. Okay, if you have any questions for me, go ahead and ask them. I will try to answer a few. A little bit about my day today, just so you guys know. I took my mom back to the airport. She flew home to Tallahassee. Well, actually, I think she flew to Jacksonville, Florida, and they're spending the night there so they can see my brother. But oh, somebody said, I can't wait to see the birthday events for the kids. I know. I'm so excited that I get to just do boy parties because then I get to think about them all the time. If you haven't watched our video, I actually don't know if it's up on Facebook, but if you haven't watched our video, it's on YouTube for sure, Maverick's 2-year-old birthday party, and we did the dirt bike theme because that's what he was really into at the time. Now he's into trucks, big time, excavators, but I love birthday parties. I'm not good at cakes though, so I find my way to cheat the cake process without buying a store-bought cake. Well, without buying an expensive cake. So I did his Mavericks cake for his birthday, and I just bought a store-bought cake and then I added embellishment to it, which there's nothing wrong with that. We all have to fake it sometimes. So, somebody says, love you guys. You're a beautiful family. Our twin grandsons are 15. See, so many of you have said that you guys have twins in your family, like your grandsons, or you had twins. And I just love hearing that because I love hearing your experiences and your stories because I just don't know what to expect. And so far, it's been really good. It's been challenging in its own way, in the sense that, like, I have to balance my time. Like, with Maverick, I just held Maverick and I just had to worry about him. But, like, I have to consciously think, like, who did I feed last? Okay, well, now that I fed Harvey last, like, this time I'm going to hold Paxton and feed him so Crandall can feed Harvey. Like, taking that time so we both can bond with them. And obviously one of them is a better eater than the other one. So, like, if we went with our instinct, we'd all want to feed the better eater. But that better eater is not the better burper. So it kind of just goes like that. The babies are doing good. I've seen a few questions about that. The babies are doing good. They are growing. We're so happy. Like, so happy. They couldn't be healthier. Which I just can't believe, because I didn't think, like, we always prayed that they would be the healthiest they could be. And I just didn't think that would be like a clean bill of health right from the beginning. Like, I really thought that they would be smaller, that we would have to do NICU time. And so I'm just extremely grateful for all of the prayers and that they are doing well, because I can't even imagine. My postpartum hormones were like this. And so, or like this. So just having, like, the peace of mind that, like, they were healthy and that they are healthy, I feel like it would have been a lot worse. Like, if I had to do NICU, I mean, you guys saw how many times I cried, which there's nothing wrong with crying, but, like, I'm also not a crier. So to, like, sit there and feel like I needed to constantly cry was really hard for me and something that I struggled with. And luckily, like, I do have Crandall, and Crandall is very supportive and just helps me realize that, like, Marci, it's okay that you cry. And that, I think, so far was and has been the hardest thing. Like, the sleep, yeah, that sucks. Whatever. Like, it's fine. But, like, just feeling like my emotions like this was so hard for me, because I'm not really an emotional person. Crandall's not an emotional person. I would say Maverick isn't, but he's 2. So, you know how that is. Like, he kind of is an emotional person. But it was just so hard for me to, like, handle myself going like this. So, yeah. I'm just reading through some of these comments. How's the sleeping? I know you were having troubles before both the babies were born. That is so true. Like, okay, I know that I get up right now it's every 3 to 4 hours. Just now that they are back to their birth weights and above that, the doctor said it was fine for us just to let them sleep. And so they're getting up on their own about every 3.5 to 4 hours. Which, once I get back to bed, so it takes about 30 minutes to feed them, to pump, to get back in bed. And once I do that, then I, like, sleep until I hear them wake up again. And so I'm sleeping a lot better. Like, I feel way more rested than I did beforehand, which is good. And I'm not getting up to pee, like, every hour, like clockwork. So that is huge. I mean, it feels really nice. There's Crandall. He's working on tomorrow.
What's up, guys?
He's working on tomorrow's video. It is a little weird being on here without him. I'm not gonna lie.
She doesn't have the squirrel running around anymore.
Yeah, I don't have the squirrel. Okay, what marriage advice would you give to a newly married couple? Okay, Brooke, I don't know if you just got married, but if you did, or if you are, congratulations. We love weddings. What marriage advice? I would say, for me, the biggest marriage advice that, like, I didn't actually hear it from somebody. I just learned it myself, and learned it, like, with my relationship with Crandall, is it's okay to tell your spouse exactly what you want. Like when it comes to Christmas, to holidays, to birthdays, to tell them exactly what they want, like you want. Even Sundays, because they can't read your mind and it's unrealistic to expect that of them. And so for Crandall and I, our first year of marriage, that was one thing I really struggled with, was like being disappointed when he wouldn't do something. And then I would have to remember that he didn't know that I wanted that or that I expected that. And so to tell your significant other what your expectation is helps get rid of that confusion and that disappointment that we so often feel. And that's been a huge thing. Another marriage advice is like, choose to be happy. Like make the choice not to continue in anger. And keep what's going on with you and your spouse to you and your spouse. Crandall and I are very firm believers in that, because your family and your friends aren't going to forget what happened, but you and your spouse can move past it, but your family and friends might not. And so that's something that will continuously be brought up. And I'm really grateful that Crandall and I have chose not to share things that are going on. Obviously, like if you need help, you need support, go seek that help and that support. But like for the most part, try to keep it between you and your spouse, because other people just don't forgive like you can. So, great question. Understanding and supportive husband is truly a gift from God. Crandall, I think you connected. Okay, sorry. Crandall just put in his AirPods, but I used his AirPods last, and so they connected to him. So if you missed that, I agree. Having a supportive husband has truly been a gift that I've been given. And I will tell you something. I was not the most supportive as a spouse in the beginning. Crandall wanted to do YouTube and Facebook way before I did. And when I say way before, I think we waited 2 years to even film our first video, because I was not supportive in it. And so, was not very good of me, but it took me understanding and me trying to get to where he was before we did it. And even after that, I think he pretty much, if you go back to those earlier videos, he did it by himself for the first 5 months. And then it was like, okay. And I remember sitting down and having the conversation with him, like, if I'm going to do this, like, I need your help. And so then it was, okay, I helped a little bit more. I was in it a little bit more. And then when he went to that YouTube convention with Sean from Keeping It Dutch and Daniel from Arms Family Homestead that they put on back in August, I got to go with him. I just went as like a baby moon thing, just like to have a day by myself without Maverick. And that night, after the first night, Crandall came and he talked to me and he's like, I would really love your support and your help with this. And so that's when, after that, I picked up Facebook, started taking care and responding to comments, doing the Facebook side of things. And I'm so grateful that he pushed me to support him. And I don't think there's anything wrong with asking for support and for help. And that's what he did. And I mean, I love it now. Like, I will say, like, it wasn't so much as being, like, non-supportive. I think I was just scared. I don't know if you know this, but, like, I'm sure you don't. Why would you know this? But Crandall and I weren't, like, the most popular kids in high school. I mean, I maybe have one friend from my high school that I talk to today, and, like, didn't ever really hang out with anyone in high school. I grew up swimming, and so I had my swim friends during the swim season, and then after that, it was like I didn't do anything with my with people from my high school. And Crandall was the same way. So in my head, I always had these thoughts of like, we can't do YouTube and we can't do Facebook, and we can't become these content creators because we're not popular. And like, I've never been popular. And so that was like this thing that I had going on in my head, that I can never be good at it because just nobody will have any interest. And I mean, that's obviously not true. But it was hard for me to overcome that and say, you know what? It doesn't matter. And Kendall would tell me, it doesn't matter, Marci, that like, this is how it was. Like, we have things that we can offer. Maverick loves watching Crandall. Like, and to make those memories, he's like, if we do it for anyone, just do it for us. And so overcoming that was also a huge thing. Wow, so many of you are so nice. Thank you for saying that I look good. That's so nice of you. Did you get caught up on the laundry? Okay. As you all know, laundry never stops. Like, I don't know what mom gets their laundry to stop, because mine definitely doesn't. I have not, but I also haven't really done it yet. Because my mom was in town, I just didn't worry about it. I've done like 2 or 3 loads just so they can have enough clothes. But I'm planning on doing that tomorrow. So I'm planning on doing laundry, cleaning the bathroom, cleaning the other bathroom. I don't know, just, we've had so many people in and out of our house, and I haven't really got to clean or do anything since the twins were born. And so to like get back in that, I feel like we'll be good. And I'm excited, which sounds weird because I never thought I'd be excited to like do housework. But I kind of am. I'm just looking through to see, to see if there's any more questions. It must be nice to breathe again. It is. I will tell you this weird thing that happened. It was 3-4 nights ago. Okay, obviously I haven't been able, if you've ever had a baby, you guys know what I'm talking about, when like you lose track of your organs, so you don't really know where your stomach is, you don't really know where your intestines are, and every movement in your body you just assume is your children. And that's how it is with twins. So like, I didn't really know where my stomach was for the last 9 months. I assumed it was like somewhere over like in the upper region, but like had no idea. So 3 nights ago I woke up in like horrible pain. And it was like this tight stomach, and I was like just like moaning in bed, and like I woke Crandall up, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, it hurts so bad. And I think like it was just, my first stomach ache where I've been able to like classify it as my stomach. But like, I seriously was in so much pain, and I tried to think like, did I eat anything different? And I think my body's still just trying to regulate itself. And so, I finally, wow, I shared way too much on here. I ended up throwing up, and then it was fine right after. Like, and I haven't felt like bad ever since. But I was telling Kreml like the day before, I'm like, I'm so glad to know that like the next time I throw up, it means like I'm sick or something's wrong, versus like I'm pregnant. And so literally the next day I'm like sitting there throwing up, and I'm like, well, I guess something my body didn't like, something I ate or something like that. But it's so nice to breathe again. It's kind of nice to be able to be like, oh, it's my stomach that doesn't feel good, or like I'm sore in my back, and be able to know that it's not like I can pinpoint what is wrong, versus like an overwhelming just not feeling well, or an overlying just not feeling well kind of thing. Okay. I'm just sorry. I'm still going through this. Remember, this is my first time doing it alone, and I really can't read the comments from far, so I have to come up close because I don't have the best vision, and so it takes me a little bit longer than most people, and takes me way longer than Crandall. See, you guys are still so nice. Okay. Communication is number one. I agree. If you didn't know, I went to school for communication studies, and I focused on family communication and communication and family and life conflicts. So I am huge. It's weird. I'm really into conflicts, and I'm really into learning how to have better conflicts, which sounds so bizarre. But I love to break it down and say, okay, why, especially when we were first married, why didn't this work, and why didn't this, how can we be better at communicating through a conflict? And so I just really enjoy it. There's a lot of TED Talks and podcasts that I listen to receive better advice. So, okay. How's the house being under construction and having 3 tiny ones been overwhelming? Knowing especially with Crandall hitting the road and bumps in the laundry room, how do you stay positive? Okay, so actually the thing is yes, we've had water problems, and we've had washer problems, and we've had different things happen. But I haven't really minded. It's been kind of weird. I want the laundry room to be done. And the washer dryer, it's all hooked up. It's all working great. It's working great, right? He says yes. Like I said, I haven't done the laundry in 2 days, so I don't know. But I think the biggest thing is I realize that Crandall has so many other things that he has to do. And if I get stressed out about it and he still has other things on his plate, then it just doesn't do any of us good. I can sit there and I can fret and I can stress about it, but he would not have time anyways to do it. And so I might as well not freak out about it. That's just where I'm coming from. I feel like if I were to freak out all the time about little projects not being done, I would just be unhappy all the time. And so I've tried. I haven't always done this, but I've tried to just stay positive about the little construction things and realize that messes are going to be made. I'm going to have to clean up. But at the same time, Crandall doesn't want to do it just like I don't want to have it be done, or I don't want to be in that situation. He doesn't want to be in there either. And so the happier I can be, it makes him it's easier on both of us if I have a positive attitude about it. It's like that one song. I think it's Bricks and Dunn, if you guys know who I'm talking about. Or yeah, where it's Mama ain't happy, nobody happy. That song. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. It's a country-ish song. But it's true. If I come home with a bad attitude, or if I have a bad attitude, it definitely affects Maverick, and it definitely affects Crandall. And I just don't. I try not to do that necessarily. Okay. Yeah, just choose to be happy. I like that. It's it's simply the easiest answer. Okay. I like what Carol says. Mike and I are best friends, 45 years, and I still enjoy life. Do not let the same stuff get to you. That's, yeah, we can, I don't know, I feel like we can be best friends. And that was a choice that you have to make. So growing up, I was best friends with my sister. Like, I have the cutest little sister. And she's only 3 years younger than me, so she's not even that little. But we were roommates in college. We were best friends. We worked at the same place in college, like, would do everything together. And when I met Crandall, she just happened to be home for the summer. And I had stayed to work up in Utah. So she flew home to Florida, was living there. I met Crandall. I brought him to Florida before she had ever met him. And so that was like a hard transition for her. Yeah, for her and my relationship. It was like I wanted to be with her and I wanted to hang out with her, but I also had like this boyfriend that I really liked. And so
I have to jump in here and say she picked her sister over me multiple times.
I did. And it was just because it was like I wanted to be with my best friend. And so making the choice to like be Crandall's best friend was like a huge deal. And then like to start choosing him over her, and then, you know, eventually we fell in love, and then we got married, and then I spent less and less time with her, and like waking up and being like, you know what, I'm so lucky that I get to be with my best friend today, and I get to do things with my best friend, has been a huge blessing. Okay, that's not to say I'm not still best friends with my sister. She lives in Utah. I haven't seen her actually in a year. Because I was pregnant, I didn't go to Utah this year. She started a new job, graduated college, so she was really busy this last year. She's coming out to meet the twins in January. But she we still talk on the phone every day. And she's absolutely adorable. But yeah, I seriously love like being best friends with Crandall. It's pretty fun. I mean, and just because you guys are best friends doesn't mean you have to like the same things. Because otherwise, if that was a requirement to be somebody's best friend, Crandall and I would not be best friends. Because as you know, I do not like the same things Crandall likes. And that's fine. Crandall just said there's a binky shortage. He can't find any, which means our 2-year-old stole them all. If you open their closet, there's a pack of them in their closet. Otherwise, you might have to take one from Maverick and wash it. Maverick likes to grab all of their binkies and like round them up and then hide them because he doesn't like them to have them. So, it's bad. I mean, a lot of you warned me. I'm going to be honest. You all warned me that 2-year-old is going to have a hard time with his brother's binkies. I know, but I was in so much pain and so much misery, and I was just trying to get through every day that taking away binky from Maverick was like the last thing I wanted to do. It really was. Now, do I wish I would have done it? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I wish I would have potty trained him? Yes. I wish that too. Did I? No. Now I just have to change 3 diapers. And if you want to know, we go through 20 diapers a day with the twins. It's a lot. Not like both of them together. They go through about 10 each. So. Yeah. See the Eddie family. Moms always know where the pasties are. Yes, I do. And I watched Maverick take them. But like at the same time, I was pumping when I watched Maverick take them. And so it's like, Maverick, don't take those binkies. And he's gone. And I can't do anything about it. And I just am stuck to my milking machine is what I call it. But okay, what is a binky? Oh, okay, hold on. I got to go back and find that. It's so true. So many people have so many different terms for it. Okay, I can't find it. Oh, here we go. What is a binky? It's a pacifier or a dummy, as we call it. I never heard people call them. I think it's a dummy. A dummy, yeah. But I've always called it a binky. I don't know. Maybe it's like a Western United States thing. Because I feel like, well, Crandall's mom calls it a passy. So I don't know about that, because she's from Idaho. So, but my family always calls them binkies. One thing that's interesting, and I'll talk about this. Okay, so Paxton, I think it's Paxton. I haven't been able to quite differentiate their cries. I'm still not that good at it yet. I can tell them apart, but I can't tell their cries apart. And so Paxton gets a little bit gassy every evening, and so he tends to cry from like 8 to 10. Like, he just wants more attention. Yeah, everybody. Dumb. Whoa, you guys are way too fast. I'm like trying to click on one, and they're just all gone. See, some people call him. Oh, I think Binky is a brand name from the 60s, or that's like very specific. The 60s or the 89s. I don't know. We use, if you want to know what kind of binky we use Bibs binkies. Bibis. Bibs, I think is how it's spelled. And they're actually a Sweden brand of binky, which is kind of weird. And the only reason I chose them is because I feel like they look a little bit cuter. Because I have a thing about pacifiers looking like, making the whole mustache smell thing. Oh, it was Harvey? See, guys, I was wrong. I thought it was Paxton, but it was Harvey. Somebody says, lay him on his belly across your legs and rub his back, and it'll push the air bubbles out. Did you hear that, Crandall?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to try it right now. Where and how did you meet Crandall? So Crandall and I met at a lunch at church. I think we talk about it in a live, but since we have a lot of new people here, and this is my first live by myself, I will give you my version of the story. We met, at a lunch at church. So the church we go to when you're single, they have a congregation basically just for single people. So we can meet. That's pretty much how it is. So there's family congregations, and when you're 18 and older, you can go to the singles congregation. And so that's what we did. And we were in the same, we lived in the same area as each other. And so we got to have a luncheon after church, and he ended up sitting at the table, and then we kind of met there. And then I knew his roommate. And so one day in church, one day after church, I turned around to talk to his roommate, and then we sat next to each other in Sunday school. Guys, and we even shared scriptures, and we talked about how we got to share our scriptures together. And it was pretty much love at first moment, because he didn't know that a girl still brings her scriptures to church. He thought everybody just used their phones. And so he fell in love with me because I brought my scriptures to church. He's like, that is not what happened. But hey, it's my version of the story. So we just met at church, and it was fun. But I don't know what else to say about that. We got married really fast. We were engaged within 2 months of starting to date, and then married. Yeah, we started dating in technically July. We started dating June 30th, and then we were engaged August 31st, and then married November 23rd. So, okay. Hi, how is your C-section incision going? So, it might be too much information, but it's going well. So they used, if you didn't know, I had a C-section with Maverick too. They just used the same scar. And so far it's been really good. I'm really excited to be able to wear normal clothes. I'm supposed to wear looser clothes on like my lower half so that it doesn't like put too much pressure on it. So I'm like excited to be able to like put actual pants back on. But I have my 2-week postpartum appointment on Monday. But everything like has healed really nicely. Obviously it's not healed completely. Like I still have stitches and stuff. And so I'm pretty sure, I didn't ask, but I'm pretty sure they're dissolvable. And so they should dissolve on their own. But also I don't know. So like I might have to have stitches removed. I just didn't ask. I guess I probably should have, but I didn't. I guess Brandon's birthday from the Eddie family is June 30th. Yeah, that's the day Carnell and I started dating. And if you want to know, that's a cute story too. So I was leaving out of town, and yeah, I was gonna be gone for like 3 weeks because I was going to upstate New York to like the Rochester area, to a little town called Canandaigua. So I was going there to the Finger Lake region, and I was going to be gone there for 2 weeks, and then I was going to visit my family in Florida for a week. And Connell and I had been kind of like seeing each other for like 4 days. And
Can't leave out. I asked you to be my girlfriend.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. He's like, you can't leave out. So it was like our last night together before he was, if you didn't know, Connell was he was a rancher, like Yellowstone. He was living his Yellowstone dreams. And he would go up for 3 days a week up to the ranch to ranch hand, and then he'd come back. So he was about to leave for 3 days. And we were at like a park on a Sunday, and he was like, I want to ask you something, but like I'm kind of nervous too. And I was like, oh, just ask me. And he was like, will you be my girlfriend? And I said yes. And then I left out of town, and he left out of town after he disinvited me to the 4th of July party his family threw. And then somehow he ended up in Florida with me and asking my dad to marry me. So, asking if he can marry me for my dad. But yeah. So that all happened on June 30th. Okay, I'm just still sorry. You guys go so fast. I like find one, start reading it. Okay, I've actually got a lot of this question. I love the color of your hair. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Is that your natural color? Well, yes, it is my natural color. It's kind of weird. It like is dark and then light. So I dyed it a year and a half ago, and Colonel hated it. He like literally hated it. It made me feel great about myself.
It should have made her feel great because I like her natural hair color so much more.
Yeah, so I dyed it. I didn't really like it either, but I had to like live with it. And then this summer, it all just like faded away. So I dyed it darker, and the dye kind of just like, if you look at like weird random pieces over here, you'll see some of the dye, but like everything on top is all natural. So I actually get that question quite a bit, and I've always had just weird hair. Well, I mean, like, thank you for saying it's beautiful, but it's weird in the sense that like it starts off really dark, and then as the summer goes, it like lightens. See, I love reading these stories, like you who met your husband on a blind date. Congratulations on 33 and a half years. See, that's so cool. I mean, I love cool, like, long marriages. I think they're awesome. I don't know how long my parents have been married. I think it's 35 years. I'm not sure though. let's see. Oh, somebody complimented me on my Canandaigua. Oh, you live about 45 minutes from that. See, it's a cool place. If you've never been to Canandaigua, I believe it's the smallest town in New York. That's kind of cool trivia. But, well, I don't really, somebody asked, they want to know where Crandall and I were married. Were you married in Provo or Salt Lake City? So that's in Utah. If you didn't know, Crandall and I are from Utah. We were actually married in Payson. So this is the last story I'll share for tonight because it's the story that's the most near and dear to our hearts. I know he's just looking at me. I'm not even going to look at him. But we were married, in Payson, Utah. It's about 45 minutes south of Salt Lake City.
An hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
Crandall says it's an hour and a half. I don't feel like it's that far. But so where we were married, there's this giant field in the front, and his family took a picture there when he was a little kid. So whenever we drive past this place, after we were married, mind you, he'd always say, "That's where my family took our family picture." And I'm like, and that's where we were married. So, we were married in Payson. Just since you wanted to know. And we're answering a bunch of random questions. So, okay, well, I don't have anything else, but I will let Crandall show you guys the baby. Thanks for joining me tonight. I know it was kind of all over the place. I had a long day just taking my mom to the airport and everything. Here, will you show them the baby really quick? Because I know that's what you guys all want to see. So this is Harvey, and Harvey's sleeping for the,
No, he's not really sleeping. He was crying until I picked him up, and then he decided to close his eyes. He just wants to be held.
So I took both twins with me today to the airport, which Dallas is like 2 hours away. So I took both of them there and back. So we spent quite a bit of time in the car today. But okay, well, everybody have a good night. We will see you tomorrow for our video. Right? We have a video coming out tomorrow. That's what Crandall's editing right now. So, okay, talk to you guys later. Bye. I don't know how to do